Welcome to The Teacher and the Pro, where we dive into PGA professionals' journeys and the paths they've chosen within the golf industry. I'm Nathan Rarick, an elementary PE teacher and golf writer for Fair Degree, an equitable sports media company. Joining us this episode is Tristan Thomas, a sales representative for Harlestons. Tristan talks about his day being a PGA professional at a golf course and what made him transition to his current role. He then discusses the Harlestons brand and how they stand out against the competition. Thank you, Tristan, for doing this. And can you first start off by telling us how you got into the game of golf?
I'd love to. I've been in the industry for almost a decade at this point. I got into it, I would say initially at the age of 16. First job, mom was like, "You want a truck? You're going to get a job." I said, "Okay." Happened to live right next to a local country club that my high school golf team practiced at. Got a job there, started washing carts right after high school practice ended. But then it just kind of built the passion from there. I guess realistically, and as far as PGA and my career is concerned, went through college and got a normal, boring business degree like a lot of us do. And just kind of decided to get into the business and follow my passion after that. I didn't want to sit in a cubicle and moved up to Dallas and started at the bottom again, fresh out of college, washing carts at Northwood Club, which quickly, very humbling experience.
Yeah,
First
for
job
sure.
with your undergraduate degree, making there's 75 cents an hour at a non-tipping club. It was a lot of fun, but kind of built the foundation, and you have to know and learn that part of the operation. So got into it there and worked my way up to assistant in training, and then got my first, call it, real assistance gig about a year later. And then, yeah, it's just kind of been a journey from there.
Nice. I'm assuming you didn't go to school at PGM school. So did you do this
Yeah.
self-learning way?
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, I don't come from a golfing family really or have much of a golfing background other than playing in high school. So I didn't even know the PGM school existed.
Neither did I.
When I made the decision to go to college, golf wasn't even on my radar. It was just, oh, hey, I'm going to go to college. And the whole concept of golf was really building in my senior year as you start interviewing for jobs because you want something when graduation's approaching. So no, didn't do PGM school at all and went through the self-paced program afterwards. And so that was also a lot because that I did it relatively quickly, which was just under 3 years. But call it 3 years of schooling after you just went to school. It's not a lot of fun, but you got to do it. It's not that it was difficult. It's just a lot because you got to do it while you're working full time.
I'm a teacher, and here in New York, we have to get our master's degree within so many years after getting our certification. And I had friends I graduated with, they waited the 5 years and started because as long as you're starting, and I was like, I can't do that. I'll never go back. So I graduated in May with my undergrad, and I went right back to college classes in August. As a full-time teacher coaching two sports, I was taking grad school classes, and it was a lot. So working at a golf course, however many hours, 40 hours a week, and then learning a whole new kind of program for 2.5, 3 years it couldn't be easy, but it seems like you enjoyed it and you're still kind of learning and using that PJ professional title that you have. Now, when you were at a golf course, what did your
Yeah.
day-to-day look like?
Literally everything. But it's funny from the outside looking in, from people or folk that aren't necessarily in the business, they just play golf recreationally. They just think it's, oh, hey, Tristan's just playing golf all day. And absolutely not the case. There are some days where I'm playing golf with the membership and it's great, getting to play golf on the clock, but those are the rarities. So your everyday is everything from managing the outside operation. So all of the outside staff from the driving range to the golf carts to the cart barn to random things like how are the trash cans looking on the golf course? Are we stocked with ice and waters and the coolers on the golf course? Just everything you could possibly imagine when you roll up to a golf facility on the outside, coupled with the inside operation, managing the phones, managing the tee sheet. Sometimes you're involved in the retail aspect, also coupled with your own duties that you're doing on the side, right? What tournaments do we have coming up? Managing my own personal teaching calendar. Do I have any junior clinics coming up that I need to prep for? So it's a little bit of everything. So I think you've probably heard the phrase now, golf professionals wear a lot of hats. And
Yeah.
that's just because it's one of the few professions where you don't just have one thing. You're not just an accountant. You're an accountant, you're doing the budget, but you're also master of tournaments and et cetera, et cetera. So everything, to be quite
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah. Everyone I've talked to is just, yeah, they're like my Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday are different. And then Thursday's complete. And
Yep.
then the next week, everything is. Did you enjoy one part more than the other? I've had a couple of people say they really enjoyed making the tournaments and creating tournaments for their clubs, or someone really like giving lessons. Did you have one thing that stuck out compared to the other duties you had?
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely anything retail, which is
Okay.
kind of why I am where I am today. It's not that I disliked giving a lesson or I disliked running tournaments. I think I liked everything equally, but doing the retail really kind of put a fire in me and I got jazzed up, right, when I got to do that.
Yeah. Now, for those who don't know, Tristan and I have been talking here for a couple weeks, and so he currently works as, are you a sales representative at Harlestons, correct?
Yeah, so I'm a Southwest sales rep for Harlestons. So it's a newer apparel brand. We've been around for about 6 years. The company was started in 2020, and I manage Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kansas.
So that's got to keep you pretty busy as well. Just
I-
like,
I'm pretty
so,
busy. Four states in a car is a lot.
yeah,
Texas alone is an animal, but it's been nothing but a blessing. I'm approaching a year doing it, so it's been great.
nice. So, and you talked about the retail part of it, and what
Yeah.
about the retail part got you so excited that you wanted to kind of make this switch into that full time?
Yeah, I think retail is one of those things. You have two different types of golf professionals. I feel like you've got your normal everyday golf professional, and he's a guy, he doesn't care about clothes or fashion or style. He doesn't wake up every day and go into his closet and be like, what can I put on today that's going to like make me look good? He just kind of throws on a pair of pants and a pair of shirt and he's out the door. And then there's some guys who really like to look a little stylish, especially since you're in front of a membership and you want to present your best possible self. So I think you just inherently like it or you don't. And I've always liked clothes and making sure I'm looking as sharp as possible every single day. So when I'm having meetings with sales reps and they bring in all the clothes and you're figuring out what you're going to buy for the following season, that's so fun to me. That's so fun. So it's just kind of been a perfect fit.
I went down to the PGA show in Orlando this January, and your guys' booth was one I was trying to get to because I was at the media guide and all that. I was like, oh, seems like an interesting company, and just I had so many meet and I didn't get a chance. I was able to walk by, and from what you guys, it looked like you guys have some cool stuff. Can you talk to us about that brand a little and how it's
Yeah.
been?
Yeah, I'd love it. So, in short, we're a premium men's golf apparel brand. I would put it just in line with the Peter Millars and the Holderness and Bournes of the world. But of course, if you were at the show, you can imagine there are, I think, over 600 different apparel
Oh,
vendors.
it was wild. It
It's
was my first time there, and I was like, I don't know what to do. There were so many things to see. It was crazy.
yeah, it's overwhelming to say the least. But amongst that, you've got to figure out how to separate yourself, right?
Sure.
Because all golf shirts are not made the same as far as cut, sew, and just quality. So you've got to stand out on your own. So how Harleston's is doing a really good job in accomplishing that is first and foremost quality. We are made in some of the highest quality manufacturers around the globe. So that absolutely helps with the quality of the product. Materials, right? Golf shirts, polyester spandex is king. That's what we all love and we all wear. And obviously, performance fabrics are everything. But it's nice to have some differentiating fabrications with whether that be through true Peruvian Pima cotton, which we do a fair bit of, or even we have a really soft material we call performance brushed. So it's still a performance blend, but it's got some nylon in there and it's just treated a little differently in the manufacturing process. So it gives you a nice, warm, cozy feeling, great for the fall and winter time. And then you get down to the fit, Holderness and Bourne, it's just blowing up like crazy, right? It's so popular. It's almost encroaching on Peter Millar in some of the shops. It's getting so big. And a big part of their success is because of the fit. Guys just love how it fits. So we have emulated some of that with us being a tailored fitted brand as well. Also, we have a structured collar. And one of the highlights of our shirts that we love to brag on is our buttons. We have true mother of pearl buttons. So it's the highest grade button you can find on the market.
Oh, very
Yeah.
cool.
And then kind of as far as the aesthetic, right? Because all shirts got to look a little different. We're
Yeah.
based in Charleston, South Carolina, and the whole idea was to create a line and a brand that was just inspired by the history and heritage of Charleston. So we've got some super fun coastal themed stuff, very low country living, but at the same token, we have your basics, your very conservative styles, if that's kind of what you're looking for. Because the reality is we're selling to the globe, right?
Yeah.
Part of my territory is Kansas City. And I don't know if Kansas City wants cocktails and hammerhead sharks all the time.
Probably not.
Maybe sometimes, but you have to have some conservative options that aren't just strictly coastal.
How has your time as a PGA professional helped you in this kind of next chapter of your career? What did you take from being a PGA professional into this next step?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just truly understanding the day to day of the golf professionals, right? Because that's now call it my target market. That's who I
Mm.
sell to. So I
Yeah,
understand what they deal with on a daily basis. And as sales reps, obviously we have to communicate with our accounts, but I'm not calling my buyer or the director of golf or whoever I need to get in touch with at 9 a.m. on a Saturday.
yeah,
It can wait. It's just kind of understanding when are good times to do business and when are not good times to do business, and just being very cognizant of that, because every director golf head professional, every assistant is going to tell you that they are just slammed 24/7. And sometimes dealing with sales reps can be fickle, I guess is a good way to say it. So
yeah.
we just want to be respectful of their time. And it's really helped me with that.
No, that makes a ton of sense. It's just like you said, the PGA professional wears many hats. So not bugging them, like you don't want to burn that connection with that club. Like you want to be in that club. Now, going
Yeah.
back to your time as a PGA professional, what is one thing you wish you knew before becoming a PGA professional? Was it that you wore a lot of hats? Was it maybe the schedule was long? Or maybe it's a little thing that me, as someone who isn't a PGA professional, doesn't realize that's what you guys do?
Yeah, I loved my time as a golf professional, but I think when I got into it, I didn't really have any clear understanding of what exactly it meant to be a golf professional from a time allocation standpoint, right? I have a very hard work ethic. You've got to be successful in this life, but
Sure.
more often than not, 40 hours just doesn't cut it. It just doesn't. Almost nobody is working a flat 40 and going home in corporate America. It's often 50, 60, sometimes 70-hour weeks if you have a tournament, which is fine and dandy. I was single most of my career, so that was totally fine. And I was happy to be at the club and happy to just be there and help make the member experience as great as possible. But now I'm about to be married and trying to start a family here in a couple of years. So looking ahead, it's trying to find a way to have more time for my family. And unfortunately, I wish it was as simple as, hey, well, I'm almost a head professional. I'll be a director of golf in just a handful of more years, then I'll have more time. I think it's quite actually the opposite. As you work your way up, you actually lose time, depending at the club you're at. Some clubs are different, but most of the directors of golf I worked for worked more hours than me, which was impressive because I felt
Yeah.
like I worked a lot. So I just didn't think it got any better.
Yeah, from what I've heard from talking to a couple other people, it's a big time commitment, like you said. And again, it's great if you're single and young and you have nothing else to do. But once real life starts to kind of get in the way and you want to do other things, I could understand why it's like, all right, let's see what else I can do.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, it's not that people don't do it. Obviously, there's almost every or a lot of director golf or they're married and they have families, but it also takes a special kind of family to be understanding that Thanksgiving morning, you've got a 9 a.m. shotgun. And
Yeah.
maybe you don't always have to be there for those things, depending on what kind of team you have. But a lot of times you might be there on Thanksgiving morning for that 9 a.m. shotgun.
Yeah,
You
it's
might be there on Christmas Eve for the festivities that are going on. So it's just kind of harder to swallow.
yeah, it just gonna piggyback off this. What is one piece of advice you would give to an aspiring PGA professional that's looking to get in the industry or starting the self-learning path or getting into one of those
Yeah.
schools? What's your biggest piece of advice to them?
So I think what I would say is relative to every industry, not just golf, but especially golf. It's just that every day is a job interview. Every day you need to show up and put your best foot forward every single day, no matter how you're feeling. We all have off days, but we've got to do our best to show up with a smile on our face, with a positive go-getter attitude. Just because you don't know what your where your peers are going to be in the future. You don't know where your bosses are going to move to. The golf industry is very big, but very small. It is funny how everybody kind of knows somebody who knows somebody, and they may or may not help you land your next gig. And if you show up every day and don't put your best foot forward, they're obviously less likely to help you get that next job.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I've never thought of it as every day is a job interview, especially, right? Like golf is such a kind of communal place and people go there to build relationships. And even as being someone in sales right now, like all you hear is like, oh, like I'm closing this deal on the golf course,
Yeah.
like just in TV shows and in life. So I think that's
Yeah.
a really good piece of advice that no one's really mentioned that I've talked to. It's always like, be ready for the time commitment, be ask questions. But I think that one is that's really good for a young aspiring PGA.
Yeah, and
Before,
I'll tell you what's interesting is that is starting to become really common, especially if you're in the member equity type of world with the golf professional. More often than not, sometimes members will help you get your job, not just your boss, because those members are members at another nice club, and
yeah,
maybe you're interviewing there. Well, maybe they're buddies with a board member. And that one conversation between those two buddies being like, hey, Nathan is stellar. He's been doing an awesome job at my club. I think he's ready for the next step up. That recommendation to that board member is sometimes all you need, because the reality is every time a job opens, every single golf professional applying is pretty much qualified and capable of doing the job. It becomes a game of sorts of who do you know?
yeah. My
Yeah.
dad always says you got to know someone to get in, and it's true. I'm a teacher, and just knowing some of these things and having student teachers, and I'd be like, all right, if you apply to like these certain schools, let me know because I know people there that I can maybe get you an interview or like get you into that next step because it's tough. Like you said, every PGA pro is qualified. They wouldn't be where they are if they weren't.
Right.
Now, here, before I let you go, these are kind of the fun questions that we end with. They're called our fairway rapid fire questions. It's just a couple
Okay.
questions about the game of golf and on-course stuff and some off-course stuff that you just got to give your best answer right off the top of your head. The first one, your dream golf course to play.
Oh, Sawgrass.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's the first. Why Sawgrass?
I don't know. It's just, it's so pure every time you see it on TV.
Oh, yeah, it's
Obviously, every tour location is awesome, but obviously, I think Augusta is the easy answer. But other than
yeah.
Augusta, Sawgrass just looks impeccable every single time you see it on TV.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's like, all right, it's the Players Championship week, and what would be your
Yeah.
club you hit on the island green there at 17?
Oh, probably pitching wedge or 9 iron.
Okay. Yeah, it's just that closing stretch. I've talked to friends like I don't know if there's a better closing 3 hole stretch on the PGA Tour than those three
Yeah.
holes. I mean, I'm a lefty, so just being, I would just be so afraid of hitting a nice slice into that lake, and it's a terrifying, but it's a great golf course. I love that
Yeah.
answer. Your favorite on-course golf snack?
Oh, this super basic, but almonds. And that's like a funny
Okay.
one because you don't really see it at the course. You kind of have to take them with you.
Yeah. No,
But it's just
I
like
mean,
clean energy.
yeah, I'll do pistachios or like a trail mix.
Yeah.
Okay, almonds. Just like plain almonds or like a flavored almond.
Unsalted
Oh,
roasted
wow.
almonds.
Okay.
I know. I know. I
All
don't
right.
want to get all dehydrated with all the salt.
No, that's fair. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Early morning tea time or a sunset tea time?
Early morning,
Yep.
7 a.m.
Yep.
all day long.
There you go. All right. Favorite club in your golf bag?
9 iron or lob wedge. Either one of those.
Okay. Nice. Who would be in your dream foursome to play golf with?
Rory, for sure. Rory, Bubba Watson.
Okay.
Unpopular, but I think that's
As a
just
lefty,
three.
I love it.
Yeah. And just to see that ball flight all the
Yeah.
time. And I think you have to put Tiger in there. You have to put Tiger. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think you're going to be the only one that goes with Bubba, and I love the.
Probably.
But hey, that he's
Just
an interesting character. So like, I'm
he's
sure
a
it'd be a great
character,
conversation.
and just like watching him start at 70 yards over in the next fairway and
Yeah.
shaping it back to yours, like every golf shot's going to be cool to watch.
Yeah. That'd be a pretty cool foursome right there. And then the last one I have for you is your favorite golf movie.
Oh, greatest game ever played.
Yes. All right. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably that one or Happy Gilmore, but that one is not talked about enough. Like
so good.
yeah, I didn't know it existed, and now that I know it exists, it's just like, all right, I'll just put it on in the background while I'm doing something or I'm editing these podcasts. Like, it's a great movie. It's a great story. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are some good answers. It's gonna be hard to beat some of those. I like them. I like the being different from because I've again, like you said, I've had everyone. A lot of people say Augusta, or some people say Cypress, and all of them
Yeah.
are gonna definitely win the most unique snack. I did have someone say, and then they said this was a thing at their golf club. So I don't know if you can speak to this at yours, the ones that you worked at, but they said their peanut butter and bacon sandwich was a thing.
Literally never heard that.
Okay, so I'm not the only one.
Literally
I
never
didn't
heard
hear
that.
about it
That's
either.
wild.
Okay, but they were like, I had three of the other people I've talked to, like, yeah, that's a thing. I'm like, no, it's not. But okay, all right.
Kind of sounds awful in the
I
middle
know
of
it does
summertime, to be
not sound good at
honest.
all. But yeah, that was one that was like, that's gonna win the most weird one for that question.
100%.
Yeah. All right, Tristan, again, thank you for doing this. I think your insight, especially now with what you do now, is going to be great for the listeners. And thanks again for hopping on.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity and I hope this helps somebody.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, man.